So let's see what Hasan Piker's been up to. An Asmongold video. If you want to watch this without me talking, the link is in the description. Don't bother commenting saying that you don't want me talking if you're watching past this point, because you're a moron. Let's get into what Hasan Piker has been up to.
Oh my God, what is this? Let me look at this.
Currency scheme that people are engaging in.
Would you steal from Whole Foods?
You want to go first?
I'll answer that. No, I wouldn't.
Well,
right, guys?
I'm pro stealing from big corporations because, you know, they steal.
No, we shouldn't steal from anybody, even big corporations. I used to try and rationalize that when I was atheist as well, but unfortunately that's not the case. We shouldn't be stealing. There is a price to pay for that, and yeah, you don't really want to be stealing.
Quite a bit more from their own workers.
If everybody stole from the corporations, then they wouldn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you supply a product if you're not going to make money from it? You're not going to be able to run the business. Stupid communist nonsense again from this clown.
Like, how could you be pro-stealing? Like, if people stole from the, like, then they wouldn't be. How could you run a business if people keep stealing the stuff out of the business?
Yeah, exactly. The company obviously needs to use profits and revenue to buy more products. You know, if it's a farmer grows the wheat, he then needs to sell that wheat to buy more seeds. They can plant them, or manure to fertilize the field. But to steal the wheat from him, he then cannot do anything. And I know a farmer isn't a corporation, so I'm trying to use the most realistic example I can think of, being that I live in farms.
I don't understand. Like, how is that? It's not sustainable. Like what is it? It's an insane statement. Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, I don't. Like, what?
Yeah, correct, Asmongold. He didn't really say a lot there. He didn't really give a robust rebuttal, but he's right still.
However, one thing that might even help your ethical dilemma is the fact that the automated process that they design, these companies know will increase shrink, right? So it's actually factored in. The lemons that you stole are factored into the bottom.
Yeah, that's factored in for human error, though, not due to theft. Like, I mean, maybe they do account for a little bit of theft, but if they're going to lose it all, then that wouldn't be that wouldn't be the same scenario, Hasan. It's a complete logical fallacy
of these mega corporations, regardless.
And what happens when it gets factored into the bottom line is then that the costs get offset back onto the consumer.
Bingo.
This is so only a retard could have this opinion.
Correct. And Hasan is a retard.
No normal person could have this. And you have to be like an advanced retard to think like this. And you have to keep in mind, this is very important because Hasan, as we all know, grew up as a rich boy. He did. He grew up like a rich boy.
Yep, he's never faced adversity in his life. He's always been mollycoddled. He's always had an easy life compared to the majority of the people that he lambasts. Yeah, he's a clown.
And he was, riding around on horses, playing polo. Oh, look at me. I'm a good boy with my special hat. You don't understand the way that poor people get money and they eat food. Let me explain it to you. There are food banks for people who don't have the income and the resources available that...
Correct. We have those in the UK too, just to clarify.
They can simply get that food for free where it's accounted for, it's subsidized, and it's paid for either by charities, churches, the state, or a combination. So when you choose to go inside of a Whole Foods and you steal something from a Whole Foods, you are foregoing the existing structural socialist design of food banks, of other forms of supplemental assistance that allow people to get food whenever they're poor. So
yeah, good explanation. Asmongold, is it a miss? Sometimes he explains things really well, and then sometimes he makes a complete hash of it. But he's pretty much on point. I can't really add to what he's just said.
The problem is that What you're doing when you steal something from a corporation is you effectively increase their costs, which hurts everybody else inside of the actual paying people inside of that corporation. And you are not using, and by the way, a lot of these food banks, this is another thing people might not know, they throw away an excess of food every day. So the entire idea that
Yeah, of course. I mean, because a lot of the food that goes into the food banks is reaching the end of its shelf life, or it's when you would need to use it. So of course, if they've got some cabbages and they are unable to get rid of them on that day, and then the next day they're going to spoil. The food bank also needs to get rid of them, so they will in turn have wastage.
like, oh, well, they're going to run out of food. Yeah, they'll probably run out of cookies, or they might run out of, steaks or something like that. But they're not running out of carrots. Like, I remember my mom went to the food bank and she got carrots, and she got I don't.
Yeah, to be fair, the food banks near me, like, there's always a surplus of like carrots, parsnips, cabbage, what things are peppers, chilies, gem lettuce, is it? They have lots of that as well. Spring onions, usually lots of apples as well. Quite a few bananas. Obviously, bananas are a bit tricky because they seem to spoil really fast, in my opinion, and they're mushy. They can get damaged. Anyway, carry on.
I'm really not kidding when I do this, guys. I'm not kidding. She got enough carrots to fill this entire box. I swear to God. This was in 2000.
I mean, I've never been to a food bank and come back with that many carrots, but I've come back with a fair amount of vegetables, correct.
2012. And so they give away a gigantic amount of food. Did you eat them? Yeah, we ate a lot of them, right? And like we had stew and everything. And so like there is a massive excess of this food that's being given out. So when you forego the existing structures of, nutrition assistance and everything, and you choose to steal from a corporation, you are doing something that is not only detrimental to the corporation, the workers, and also subsequently the other people that are paying, but you're also foregoing an existing structure that is meant for people that have those problems.
Yeah, I mean, good point. I wouldn't have really fought myself to bring it to the food banks argument and whatnot, but Asmongold does make a good point here. Something that I'm sure that Hasan Piker in his luxurious life has never even contemplated before.
Is the most selfish, self-centered, stupid, short-sighted, and unnecessary thing to ever do. You should never do this. Now, if you steal, I'm not going to act like it's the end of the world. I've stolen things many times. But the reality...
Yeah, and just to admit my sins, I've stolen in the past as well. But now being part of the body of Christ, I really try not to, or not, I wouldn't even say try to, I just don't, because I know that God is watching. I know there's repercussions for stealing as well as telling lies. So I do not engage in those behaviors.
The reality is that the reason why people steal is because they get away with it. No, I think we need to spend more time.
Yeah, correct. I used to have a girlfriend that used to shoplift from fashion stores all the time. But she kept doing it because she kept getting away with it. She even tried to get me in on it, and I did once. I did not like it at all. I'm quite honest with you. It's well, never to do it ever again.
And preventing people from getting away with it. This is an extremely toxic mindset. And whenever this mindset is done at scale, any sort of distribution becomes impossible. This is why food stores close down. This is why a Dunkin' Donuts shuts down in the middle of Chicago because they keep getting robbed, or a CVS stops, selling things in a New York or something, or some other fucking high crime area in the LA area. Like, it's tremendously detrimental.
Yeah, because some people might not know that they've never worked in stores or shops. Is that each shop is sort of made to run as its own little business within the larger corporation. So they have a bottom line. They have to pay their own staff, and they are allotted money. And then if they are managing the store ineffectually and they are not bringing in revenue or profit, then obviously Dunkin' Donuts, Burger King, whoever it is, will shut that location because it is not conducive to keep it open.
and they still end up having increased profit margins because they no longer have to pay the cashiers that they used to hire, as opposed to this automated system, knowing full well that people are still going to be able to still steal a lot more efficiently, as a matter of fact, through the automated process.
Totally. Well, I was looking things like, and shrinkage is roughly equal internally as externally. Like they expect it from their employees that they are sort of disenfranchising constantly.
What? No, it's due to like things getting damaged or legitimately getting lost. It's happened to me at work. You know, you'll be trying to find something and it's just not there. The system says they're there, but they're not there, and things go missing all the time. I mean, it's not even like, say, with food either. Even in a business where I worked at, where we were selling the fixtures for inside a supermarket, you know, like the shelves and the what they call L uprights, all the shelves and the backboards. Things like that would go missing in there. I mean, who's stealing those? You know what I mean? But still, they would go missing. Like complete large units, just poof, into thin air. People aren't stealing those and trying to sell them. So it does occur. Things do go missing, and that is what shrink is for. It's not for stealing. It's not taking theft into account. Or if they are taking it into account, they're taking it into account as such a way to prevent it by wanding you if you're like working at a warehouse where you sell jewelry and stuff, you know, and like with a metal detector, etc.
Yeah.
But what about the argument that
well, they are, I mean, like, yeah, employees steal stuff. Yeah, that's true. I mean, of course. Even if they weren't disenfranchising those employees, they would still be stealing. And here's how you know that stealing is not for a necessity. There are a lot of people.
I mean, I have seen people steal out of necessity, if I'm honest. When I've been, like, I'm sure anybody in Britain will know, you go to a Greggs in a city, it's very, very likely that you are going to witness somebody just walk into Greggs, pick up some products that are like sort of near the front of the shop and then walk straight back out. Not even run, just walk, because you know, the staff can't stop them and the police aren't going to show up for some sausage rolls. Yeah, so I mean, I have seen it out of necessity, but likewise, I've seen it not being out of necessity.
That do steal for necessity. But when you're stealing makeup, you're not doing it for necessity. When you're stealing potato chips, you're not doing it for necessity. When you're stealing shoes or hairspray, this isn't necessity.
I don't know. Again, I'm sure that a normal person without no shoes would steal some shoes out of necessity. I get what Asmongold's saying. He's just giving bad examples, I think. He's not giving the most cogent argument surrounding the delineation between people who do thieve out of necessity for their existence and then people who are just doing it for the laugh.
everyone just starts stealing wantonly from the self-checkout machines, Whole Foods will eventually raise the prices.
Yeah, chaos, full chaos. Let's go. I mean, look, I'm in favor.
If it goes full chaos, Hasan, you are one of the first people that will not be able to. I don't want to say something that's going to get my channel taken down or anything, but let's just say he would not like the repercussions of chaos because he's going to be one of the first ones that is dealt with in a chaotic situation, in my opinion.
Well, no, that's not what would happen. They're just going to have a police guard that stands there next to the self-checkout, and then they watch you scan the items. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to be full chaos. It's not going to be a run on Whole Foods. And then you pay that police guard, and now the food costs more because they have to pay the guard.
Bingo. Yep.
Like, that's not even how it works. Like, this is not... What's so funny about this is that it's like it's very one-dimensional in its thinking, because you assume that the company is just going to say, I guess we lose. No, they're going to put different little stickers on it. They're going to put beepers on it. They're going to lock it up. They're going to have different things. Like, for example, at the Walmart,
yeah, I mean, you can go any sort of British news agents or, a small shop in a city centre, and everything's now behind glass. Everything's in, like, plastic packets and stuff. Even in some of the supermarkets, like peanuts and stuff will be inside plastic containers so people can't steal them.
I'm near. I had to have the employee, I went to buy underwear at Walmart, and she made me tell her which underwear I wanted. She wouldn't let me touch it. And then I said I wanted to check out, and she hand carried the underwear from the, the underwear section to the fucking cashier, and they gave it to the cash. It was like, I mean, I'm in my 30s now, so like it wasn't embarrassing, but like if I was like 16, I would have been mortified by this, right? And so it's wild, exactly. And so why? Because they don't want people to steal it, because people keep stealing it. So what you're really advocating for is you're advocating for basically Walmarts to be turned into minimum security prisons.
Yeah, I mean, I will just say as well, there is a certain country out there where if you visit it, every single shop will always check your receipt and look in your bag to make sure that everything is above board before you leave. I'm not going to name it, but yeah, it'll turn into one of those situations where trust is so low in society that nobody can be trusted to essentially use these checkouts or even just use the supermarket without essentially being accused of being a thief.
Because that's what's going to happen. In a low trust society, everybody doesn't just get Walmarts, and they just give out food for free. No, they have everything behind glass cases. They have police guards there. They have armed guards. They have people watching you. They have everything. So the entire premise of this is just completely misguided. And if Hasan went to Walmarts, if he went to places that were poor, and if he grew up poor and he received food stamps and he went to food banks, he would know all of these things. And you would know this. This is what this panel is it's three upper middle class or upper class liberals that are basically circle jerking each other for stealing lemons from Wendy's or Walmart or Whole Foods. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic.
Yep, I agree. I don't have much to add to what Asmongold just said there. I mean, I'm essentially wanted to see what Hasan's got to say more than Asmongold, but Asmongold does give good commentary, and these two, I'm not sure if anybody's aware that maybe watching this point in the video, but these two have an ongoing feud anyway, so it's always good to see what Asmongold has to say about Hasan.
I'm in favor of fast and free buses and also government-owned storefronts. And, two of those policies, the mayor of this...
Is that in favor of government-owned storefronts? Mr. Communist. This is why I always say that communism and fascism are like the cousins. They're like essentially, they're two sides of the same coin, man. Same authoritarian coin.
Beautiful city is currently working on.
Would you encourage stealing in the same way from a Mamdani-run city-owned grocery store with lower prices? And why?
I wouldn't.
No, mate. See, logical inconsistency. Stealing's bad in all cases, you moron.
Not. Because I feel like that's taxpayer funded and the prices are...
Well, didn't you already pay for it? I mean, how is it stealing if you already paid for it? I mean, see...
Yeah, I'm not sure I 100% agree with Asmongold. It is a solid point that if you've already paid taxes to, use this service, that you're not essentially stealing in some regard. But I think it's a bit more nuanced than what Asmongold is really telling us here.
This is the problem with this ideology, is that you can't allow somebody to use their own internal reasoning to justify when it's okay for them to do something bad. It's impossible.
This union labor and the prices are also adjusted regardless.
So basically, I've decided based off of three intangible subjective things that it's okay to break the law.
Yep, cope. That's what Hasan were doing there. Only cope.
Is because there is artificial scarcity that's created for it. So the problem is that, like, and again, like, if you take this to its logical conclusion, if somebody was restreaming Hasan's stream, the entire thing with no cuts, and then running additional ads on it, and then making money off of it, and then that stream was gaining popularity and hurting his popularity, I think that he would be upset about that. It would be damaging for him.
Yeah, he wouldn't like it. He'd hate it. He's a big hypocrite. He's potentially one of the biggest morons in the world, I think, Hasan Piker. And the sooner that people stop watching him and, giving him clout, the better, because unnecessary part of the political landscape. And I'd pretty much like him disappear and retire and stop getting involved because he's a moron. Anyway, I'll leave my video here anyway. The link for this will be in the description if you want to see the rest of what Asmongold had to say here, because there's still quite a bit left. There's about 7 minutes left of this video. I think I've got the meat of what Hasan Piker's been saying. So, yeah, drop me a subscribe if you liked this video, and feel free to like the video as well, because that'll push it out in the algorithm. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.